Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today with Erica, we have a very aggressive lesson for you today.
That's true. We've got a revolutionary lesson.
Yes, today at English Pod, we're protesting. So, Erica, why don't you tell us what a protest is?
Well, when you protest something, you go into the streets and show your disagreement.
Right. And you yell and you have signs and everyone's just protesting.
And the news comes, and if it's not clear now, it'll be clear after the dialogue, I'm sure.
Definitely, definitely. So why don't we start with our vocabulary preview?
Vocabulary preview.
We have two words in our vocabulary preview today. The first is bankrupt.
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 So if a company goes bankrupt, what happens?
It means the company doesn't have any more money.
So it can't pay salaries.
It can't pay
Can't
anything.
pay its bills, yeah. So basically, if it's bankrupt, it's probably going to close.
Exactly.
Okay, our second word today is bailout.
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 B-A-I-L, bailout.
So a bailout is when the government gives money to a company that is about to go bankrupt.
That's true. It's emergency money that will help save the company. Well, these two words are taken directly from our dialogue. And in today's dialogue, we're going to bring you live to a newscast.
Right, so why don't we just listen to the dialogue?
This is Action 5 News reporter Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C., where a protest has broken out. Thousands of angry citizens are protesting against the proposed bailout of the auto manufacturing industry. Sir, Sarah O'Connell, Channel 5 News, can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, we're here because we feel this is an injustice. The financial irresponsibility of big business has to stop. We're here to show the government that we don't like the way they're spending our tax dollars.
Sir, but what exactly is making everyone so angry?
It's an absolute outrage, Sarah. The U.S. government wants to give $25 billion of taxpayers' money to the auto industry. These are companies that have been mismanaged and are now nearly bankrupt.
I see. But many supporters of the bailout argue that it could help save the jobs of millions of hardworking Americans.
That may be true, and I, for one, don't want to see anyone lose their job. But how can these CEOs ask for a bailout when they're making millions of dollars? And then they have the nerve to fly to Washington in private jets. This costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're asking for money. That is just not right.
Good point. This is Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C. Back to you, Tom.
Wow, these people are really angry.
I think they're furious.
Well, I think they have some good points, and we'll talk about that later. But now,
It's time for language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Yeah, there was some great language in this dialogue. A lot of language we use to express our anger.
right. And one of those words, and the first one for language takeaway, is injustice.
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 An injustice.
So an injustice is something that isn't fair.
It's totally unfair.
It's unfair, yeah. This is an injustice. Let's look at our second word, outrage.
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 An outrage.
So Erica, why don't you give us an example on how you would use outrage?
There's no more coffee. This is an outrage.
Yeah, there we go. That's an outrage. Okay,
Let's go to our next word now.
breakout.
Break out.
Breakout.
Break out.
So we have some great examples on how we use breakout, so let's listen.
Example 1.
War has broken out in Antarctica as countries of the world fight for control of the icy continent.
Example 2.
Officials are warning that fighting could break out in the border regions.
Example 3.
A forest fire broke out last night.
Well, this is a wonderful phrasal verb that means...
To begin suddenly.
Okay, so I think that's pretty clear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Break out.
Let's go to our next word now.
Mismanaged.
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 So when something is mismanaged, it's
Not managed properly.
managed poorly.
Poorly, right.
Yeah. Our final word today is
Have the nerve to.
have the nerve to.
Have the nerve to.
I think this one also is a little bit difficult to understand.
Yeah, but we have some great examples prepared for you, so let's listen to them.
Example 1.
I've been in love with you since the 3rd grade, but I didn't have the nerve to tell you.
Example 2.
I don't believe it. You have the nerve to ask me for money when you know I've just lost my job.
Example 3.
What? You have the nerve to bring your new girlfriend to visit my mother.
So have the nerve to is like dare to do something, right?
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah.
Have the nerve to. It's like, I can't believe you would do that.
Yeah, I think that's quite clear. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of great words in our dialogue today. And also, we have some really interesting grammar in today's dialogue.
Right, so today, let's look at some grammar breakdown.
Grammar breakdown.
In this section, grammar breakdown, we show you a particular grammar structure and explain a little bit about how that structure affects meaning. So it's not really about getting the grammar perfectly right. It's about understanding the meaning.
Right. And in today's lesson, we saw some really great examples on how we use the present perfect tense.
Let's listen to an example from the dialogue.
Where a protest has broken out. Where a protest has broken out.
See the verb here, break out, like a protest has broken out, happened in the past, right?
Right?
And it's still going on now.
Exactly.
So present perfect is used when we're talking about an event that happened in the past and is continuing on now.
Exactly.
Or is continuing to affect now.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, but now if you want to indicate or if you want to demonstrate that the action has finished, the event is over, then you would say it like this.
A protest broke out. A protest broke out.
In this form, you see that the protest is over. It happened yesterday already.
Right, and I think it's really emphasizing the fact that it is no longer affecting the present moment.
Exactly. So remember the difference between present perfect and simple past. Now, if you want to know more about these tenses, present perfect and simple past, be sure to go to our website at EnglishPod.com. In the grammar section, you can find some more great examples and a really clear explanation on how these tenses are formed. But now we are ready to listen to our dialogue a second time.
Hello everyone! Welcome back to WorldPad English video. I'm Julia, and today we've got a special topic to dive into. This one's going to be intense. How are you, Jason?
Hey Julia, I'm doing well, thanks. And yes, this is definitely going to be an interesting one. Today, we're talking about a protest that has broken out across the country over a very hot issue, the government bailout of the auto industry.
That's right, a huge protest against the bailout of auto companies. People are furious, and it's all over the news. They're saying that the government is using taxpayers' money to help companies that have mismanaged their money and are now almost bankrupt. Can you imagine?
I can. And you know, it's not just the protesters who are angry. There are some real concerns about how this money is being spent. Why should the government step in and save these companies when they've been so irresponsible? And don't forget, some of the CEOs of these companies are still making millions even though the companies are failing.
Exactly. It's a complicated situation. On one hand, people don't want to see these companies go under because of all the jobs that will be lost. But on the other hand, many believe it's not fair to use taxpayer dollars to bail out companies that should have planned better.
I completely agree. The protesters feel like this is an injustice. The word injustice means something that is unfair or morally wrong. People feel like the money that could be used for schools, hospitals, or other public services is being wasted on big companies that got themselves into trouble.
Yes, that's the word injustice. It's a strong word. Imagine being a taxpayer, working hard every day, and then seeing your money going to save a company that's made bad choices. It's a tough pill to swallow.
And it's not just about the company's failure. The anger also comes from the way the CEOs are living. They've got private jets, expensive suits, and luxury lifestyles. It's like they have the nerve to ask for a bailout while living these extravagant lives. This is another emotional word, nerve.
The nerve. Yes, that's another great example. Have the nerve means when someone does something that shocks or annoys you because it feels like they're not respecting what's right. Imagine someone asking you for money when they've been careless with their own. That's having the nerve.
Exactly. And yet, there's a counter-argument. Some people say that if the auto companies go bankrupt, thousands of jobs will be lost. It's not just about the people working on the factory floor. There are also the people working for suppliers and others who depend on these businesses.
That's a good point. There's a lot at stake. So should we save these companies to protect the jobs, even though they've made mistakes? Or should we let them fail in the hope that it will force other companies to manage themselves better?
It's a tough decision, but I think the real question is, how long can we keep bailing out companies when we're already in debt? The government is borrowing money to help these companies, but that only adds to the national debt.
Right, and this is where the word bailout comes in. A bailout is when the government gives money to a company that's about to go bankrupt to help them stay afloat. But sometimes people feel like it's like throwing good money after bad.
Exactly. It's hard to watch, and it's even harder when you think about how many other problems could be solved with that money. It's definitely a topic that makes you think.
It sure does. And to be honest, I can see both sides of the argument. But I still feel like it's unfair for the taxpayers to have to bear the burden of bad business decisions.
And I agree with you, Julia, but I also feel for the workers who are just trying to feed their families. They didn't make the bad decisions, but they could be the ones who suffer the most if these companies go under.
Absolutely. It's a classic example of how complex these issues can be. And I think the protesters have every right to be angry. The outrage they feel is real.
Outrage is another strong word. It's a feeling of anger and shock at something that seems really unfair or wrong. The protesters feel this way because they don't think it's right for their money to be used this way.
And, you know, the language of a protest is powerful. People yell, hold signs, and demand change. They're using their voices to try to get the government to listen to them. It's their way of saying, this isn't right.
And this brings us to the word protest. A protest is when a group of people publicly show their disagreement with something. And in this case, it's a protest against the bailout plan.
It's important to understand these terms, and I think we're seeing a lot of emotions connected to this issue. Injustice, outrage, nerve. These words all capture the feelings people have when they feel wronged.
Exactly. And no matter what side you're on, this is an issue that affects a lot of people. The protests are just the beginning of a bigger conversation about money, fairness, and how to balance saving jobs with managing the economy responsibly.
It's a tough one, Jason, but one thing is clear, people are passionate about this and they want to be heard. And we, as citizens, should also pay attention to these issues.
That's right. It's about understanding the words that describe these emotions and situations. Bailout, protest, outrage, injustice. These are powerful words that shape the way we talk about the world.
Absolutely. So, listeners, what do you think? Should the government bail out these companies, or should they let them fail and move forward? Let us know your thoughts.
Yes, please share your opinions on our website and tell us how you feel about this issue. And remember, understanding these words is key to understanding the bigger picture.
Thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for more discussions and lessons on WorldPad English video.
Until next time.
This is Action 5 news reporter 𝗟𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 reporting live from Washington, D.C., where a protest has broken out. Thousands of angry citizens are protesting against the proposed bailout of the auto manufacturing industry. Sir, 𝗟𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, Channel 5 News, can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, we're here because we feel this is an injustice. The financial irresponsibility of big business has to stop. We're here to show the government that we don't like the way they're spending our tax dollars.
Sir, but what exactly is making everyone so angry?
It's an absolute outrage, Sarah. The U.S. government wants to give $25 billion of taxpayers' money to the auto industry. These are companies that have been mismanaged and are now nearly bankrupt.
I see. But many supporters of the bailout argue that it could help save the jobs of millions of hardworking Americans.
That may be true, and I, for one, don't want to see anyone lose their job. But how can these CEOs ask for a bailout when they're making millions of dollars? And then they have the nerve to fly to Washington in private jets. This costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're asking for money. That is just not right.
Good point. This is 𝗟𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, reporting live from Washington, D.C. Back to you, Tom.
Okay, Erica, so what do you think about this situation?
About the bailout of the auto industry.
Yes.
I think it's a bad idea.
Why?
There's so many reasons. I mean, I don't think it's fair for us as taxpayers. Well, I guess I'm not really an American taxpayer, but I don't think it's fair for the taxpayers to have to pay for the mismanagement of these companies. I mean, they've got so much debt. They've produced cars that nobody really wants to buy, and now they're in trouble, and it's not our money that should be spent on saving them.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, but you do have to take into consideration the fact that if these companies go bankrupt, thousands of people will lose their jobs. And not only the people that work at the factories, but also people that work for other companies that supply these factories.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, Marco, but at the same time, we can't support an industry that isn't working properly. I mean, if one of these companies goes bankrupt, it's going to be terrible, but it will force the other two companies, perhaps, to manage themselves better, to streamline and become more efficient. I just think it will be better in the future.
Well, it could be, but also maybe all three companies can go bankrupt. It would be sad because the American auto industry is a symbol of prosperity.
Yeah.
It's also the symbol of like the American culture in general.
I guess that's true.
So it would be a shame for it to go bankrupt because everyone owns a car in the United States, or most people, and it's just something that we can't lose. But it is an interesting topic, and we also want to know your opinions about this.
Yeah, listeners, please come to our website at EnglishPod.com and tell us what you think about this bailout and about this lesson.
On the website, we'll post a link to the news article where you can read a little bit more about this because this is actually going on now.
That's true. Well, everyone, thanks for listening, and until next time, goodbye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
An event where people gather together to show disapproval of something.
Protest.
Start suddenly.
Break out.
The act of saving a company from money problems.
Bailout.
An unfair situation.
Injustice.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
Manage badly.
Mismanage.
Dare to.
Have the nerve.
Let's try that faster.
Manage badly.
Mismanage.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
Start suddenly.
Break out.
An event where people gather together to show disapproval of something.
Protest.
Dare to.
Have the nerve.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
Manage badly.
Mismanage.
An unfair situation.
Injustice.
Dare to.
Have the nerve.
Start suddenly.
Break out.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
The act of saving a company from money problems.
Bailout.
An event where people gather together to show disapproval of something.
Protest.
Something that is morally wrong.
Outrage.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Protest. We are organizing a protest this weekend against the tax increase. Bailout. If the government doesn't give a bailout to the auto manufacturing industry, all the factories will close. Break out. Officials are warning that a war could break out between Andorra and Samoa. Injustice. You are not going to give me this job because I'm a woman? That is an injustice. Outrage. The death of millions of starving children is an outrage. Mismanage. Bob, you've really mismanaged this project. Have the nerve. I've been in love with you since the 3rd grade, but I didn't have the nerve to tell you. Protest. We are organizing a protest this weekend against the tax increase. Break out. Officials are warning that a war could break out between Andorra and Samoa. Mismanage. Bob, you've really mismanaged this project.